The conference room on the 42nd floor smelled like ambition and expensive coffee. 100 of the nation's top business consultants, economists, and strategy experts had gathered for the annual Innovation Challenge hosted by Mercer Global, one of the most powerful tech companies in the West Coast. The prize was not just money. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of small moments to change lives, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness True Stories. Also, tell us in the comments, where in the world are you watching from? The winner would be offered a senior consulting contract worth $500,000. Every seat was taken by someone with a Harvard degree, a LinkedIn profile full of endorsements, or a name that got whispered with respect in boardrooms across the country. Nobody paid attention to the man pushing the mop across the hallway outside the glass doors. His name was Daniel Cole. He was 34 years old, a single father to a 7-year-old girl named Lily. And he had been cleaning the floors of Mercer Global for 3 years. Every morning he dropped Lily at school, caught 2 buses to reach the building, put on his grey uniform, and moved through the corridors like a ghost. People looked through him the way people look through windows, seeing only what was beyond, never the glass itself. Daniel did not complain. He had learned long ago that silence was not the same as surrender. What nobody in that building knew was that Daniel had once been accepted into MIT. He had deferred his admission to care for his dying mother, then lost his savings when his wife left and the medical bills piled up. Life had taken a sharp and merciless turn, but it had never taken his mind. Every night after Lily fell asleep, Daniel studied. Not casually, not out of nostalgia, but with the focused hunger of a man who knew exactly what he was building toward. He had taught himself advanced data modeling, behavioral economics, and systems thinking from library books and free online courses. His small apartment had more notebooks than furniture. The morning of the challenge, something unexpected happened. The event coordinator rushed toward Daniel in a panic. One of the registered participants had suffered a medical emergency and could not attend. The rules required 100 participants exactly. The coordinator, desperate and out of options, looked at Daniel mopping nearby and said, without much thought, "Can you sit in? You don't have to do anything. Just fill the seat." Daniel looked at the room full of polished professionals and said quietly, "I'll try my best." The challenge was presented by the CEO herself, a sharp and composed woman named Victoria Hale, who had built Mercer Global from nothing and was known for trusting data over instinct. Participants were given a complex business scenario involving a failing regional supply chain and told to design a recovery strategy within 90 minutes. The room filled with the sound of typing and urgent scribbling. Daniel had no laptop. He borrowed a yellow legal pad from the coordinator and a pen from his own shirt pocket. He wrote without stopping. Victoria Hale watched the room from behind a glass partition, studying body language and confidence. She noticed the man in the grey uniform almost immediately, not because he stood out, but because of how still he was. While others typed frantically and consulted reference notes, this man wrote steadily, paused to think and wrote again, as if he were having a calm conversation with the problem rather than a battle. When the submissions were collected and sent to the evaluation panel, Victoria went back to her office and waited. 3 hours later, the results came in. Submission number 87 had scored highest by a significant margin. The strategy was described by the evaluators as elegant, deeply practical, and showing a rare understanding of human behavior within logistical systems. It proposed solutions that were low cost, fast to implement, and addressed root causes rather than symptoms. Victoria asked to meet the author. When the coordinator brought Daniel Cole into her office, still wearing his grey uniform with the Mercer Global logo stitched on the chest, Victoria did not flinch. She asked him to explain his thinking. He did. He spoke clearly, drawing on concepts from systems theory, from studies he had read about employee psychology in under-resourced environments, from patterns he had noticed even in how supply lines worked in his old neighborhood grocery store. Victoria listened without interrupting, and by the time he finished, something in her had shifted permanently. She asked about his background. He told her everything. calmly and without bitterness. MIT, his mother, Lily, the library books, the notebooks. She did not feel pity. She felt something closer to shame, not personal shame, but the shame of a system that had buried this man under a mop for 3 years while paying 6 figures to people who could not match him on their best day. That afternoon, Victoria Hale offered Daniel a full-time position as a strategic analyst with a salary that would change his and Lily's lives completely. She also quietly restructured Mercer Global's hiring process to remove the degree requirement from roles where demonstrable skill was what truly mattered. She later said in an interview that meeting Daniel Cole was the most important professional lesson of her life, that talent does not knock on your door wearing the right clothes, and that the most dangerous thing a leader can do is to confuse credentials with capability. Daniel accepted the position. He still dropped Lily at school every morning. He still caught the bus, though now he rode it a little longer to reach the new office. And every night after Lily fell asleep, he still opened his notebooks, not out of necessity anymore, but out of love for the work itself. If this story moved you, please show your support by liking, sharing, and subscribing to our channel Kindness True Stories, where we bring you real tales of strength, heart, and the quiet heroes the world almost missed.